Well, look what the cat dragged in. I could have sworn I sent the invite out to one. I know none of y'all really have your gears turning in your head, so mathematics may not be a strong suit for y'all, but one is like one singular unit, if you even know what that is. Like one buffoon, not 30 of them. I mean, I guess it's whatever. We could have a little audience. Hey, Nagato, your bofu bitches are here. Why don't you wave at them or something? Look, hey there, my name's Nagato, and my sorry ass is so weak I got jumped by 7 dudes. Asai, chill! I'm weak and jumped by 7 dudes. Do you hear the hogwash that comes out of your mouth? Hand his ass over, bruh. Pardon? No fucking way, dumbass. This guy is miles away from hitting his quota, so he has a lot. This shit is not lethal company, bruh. Fuck you talking about a quota for. I didn't need the play-by-play, nor am I asking for permission. Hand him over. I see. 2 full bags of sour cream and onion chips. Cause I can smell that shit from here. Or is that just your rotten ass insides? Is that how you always smell? And I guess if you're gonna get in the way, we really don't have a choice, do we? Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I'm shaking. Guys, we're done for. Is what I would say if I was a bitch. I'm not saying that dumbass boo-boo shit. Boys, commence operation. Y'all hit him with the metal bats and risk multiple attempted murder and murder charges, and I get away scot-free because I'm not taking responsibility and putting the blame on y'all. Let's do this thing. Yeah, so Windbreaker is an interesting show because watching season 1, I remember making my 2 videos on it, especially after seeing that UFC fight card that Dana White put on. I remember after seeing that, I was convinced that the choreography in the show were some of the best in the game, like damn near Jujutsu Kaisen, Naruto level, just by the way they were moving. But I mean, other than that, after season 1 ended, I didn't see the direction this show would go. It felt like compared to Tokyo Revengers, the substance wasn't even there to introduce more gangs. I don't know. It just felt like Bofuden and Lion's Den were kind of like so big in their general vicinity that there wouldn't even be another gang present, which was kind of dumb of me to think because the last episode of season 1 introduced this new gang, Keel, who in terms of their attire, I mean, they've got some stellar drip. I love the hoodies. I love what they got going on. I just don't like the mindset of these people. Specifically this dickhead here, the one who's calling the shots, doing whatever. But the whole reason our boys are pulling up here is because I forgot his name. One of his childhood friends, I guess, joined Keel and was a serial thief on the streets, just robbing dudes of their rack cage whenever he got the opportunity. And basically him and everyone else band together and pull up to Keel's hideout. Damn, they got that shit locked up. How do they even get in this motherfucker? Man, can you put that shit on Do Not Disturb? Your girls can wait, bruh. Damn. Boss, I'm sorry to bug you. 3 of my girls on my roster asked me to crack tonight. I just don't know who to pick. I'm overwhelmed. I'm sorry. Yeah, but no. So as soon as Baji Sweet Chin Music's door opened, I already knew this banana peel gang was a bunch of phonies and that they spent all of their gang's funding on those nice ass, dare I say, windbreakers. Because in this quote unquote lair, they got no AC, no lights, and probably just inhaling a bunch of fart clouds from the dudes in here. And I guess they probably bought their weaponry too because that's about all they have going for them. Because as soon as Sakura started talking his shit saying that nigga's breath smelled, these guys all pull up like they're participating in an ECW Extreme Rules match. And realistically, this gang is probably just full of people who didn't make the cut for Bofuden or Lion's Den. And they just didn't have the physical capabilities to hang with those guys. So then they all trickled down to working under this doofus, who's acting all tough like this, but probably comes from a dual income household. He's gonna be going home tonight to his mother's great cooking and probably lives in the suburbs, sitting here acting like a fucking felon. And Bofuden got straight to it though. As soon as that nigga Sakura said go, they were sprinting at those guys full speed. They were niggas going airborne, just throwing themselves at these people. The Bofuden Brotherhood is a goddamn special sight to see because we have Bun here who grabbed this guy's wooden stick, pause, and then lobbed his ass to Connie and he gave him a clothesline from hell. That was just beautiful tag team action. We had Cheese Puff here just manhandling dudes. And then we had Psyche K here hitting what looked to be some taekwondo shit that he learned in the mountains with the windbreaker kind of falling off too. That's just swag personified. But of course we have Suo doing what he does best as he's protecting our boy who doesn't know how to throw a punch. And like, I know Nirei's job is to support Sakura, which he does a damn good job of. But if I'm a member of Bofuden, and I know it's a mental hurdle you gotta overcome, but like if I'm him, which he does do later, I'll give it to him, but I feel like he should have acted a bit faster in terms of putting himself in harm's way. And we see Banzai run up the stairs to get to his boy as the head grunt just called Nagato his boy toy, which was kind of treacherous, so he would need to get humbled for that for sure if I'm Banzai here. He tries going airborne on him and then this guy starts weaving him, catches his shit, and kicks his ass down a whole flight of stairs. And now I don't know what armor these guys have equipped and I don't know what level of plot it is, but realistically, if this was a real life scenario, I feel like him being sent as high as he did and his spine rattling down the stairs and then him landing on the back of his head, I'm really surprised he's still here with us. But that aside, I'm convinced that the whole gang of banana peels are just niggas that escaped the juvenile detention center and then regroup back here. Because for what reason does Edward Elric have to be jumping off the top rope attempting to split Sakura into his black and white half? It's 2:32 p.m. on a Tuesday. What the hell are we even doing? I ask it every time, and I know both of them is kind of like, you know, the heroes of the town. They kind of do the work that the police don't do, like stopping people from stealing a Snickers from the gas station and like stuff like that. But now it looks like all of the upper tier grunts are coming down to fight, Edward being one of them. We have this guy, Kirishima Shiyu. He really doesn't even look like he has any passion or love for this lifestyle, so I don't even know why he's in this predicament. But then we have this runt, and then this is where I draw the line. Like, I know I was saying the cops need to be involved, but scratch that. We need to get this kid's parents in the mix and take away his allowance for at least 3 months. Because why on earth is this runt here not only with this wooden club, but with the shit wrapped with barbed wire like he's fucking Mick Foley? What is going on? If they got dudes like this roaming the streets, both of them may need to invest in some firearms. I'm just being honest, because these guys seem like they're willing to do whatever it takes to reach quota. Can you stand the fuck still? I mean, you keep squirming and dancing all over the place like a little dainty girl. Well, I mean, that's rude. All you have to say is that I'm graceful. I mean, I could tell by a comment like that, you must get no play and your feelings are hurt, and that's why you're taking it out like this. It doesn't have to be this way. You're saying I get no play. This is coming from the little ballerina. Brother, I don't think you've ever felt the touch of a woman. I got at least one girl's name for every letter of the alphabet in my phone. We could go shoddy for shoddy after this if you want, but I know that'd probably be more embarrassing than the ass whooping you're about to receive right now. You're sure composed for someone whose focus is behind them. Jeepers creepers. I'm sorry, Suo. You clearly don't get it, Squinty. Pressure makes diamonds, and I'm shining right now, brother. Do you really mean that? Do you think Rihanna was lying when she said shine bright like a diamond? But yeah, so this episode took a turn when one of Bofuden's guys got snuck, and Sakura was kind of discombobulated for a second, so he started tweaking out, going after Edward, and then he got snuck himself. And again, I don't know what type of power amp these Windbreakers give them, but they're getting hit upside the skull with metal pipes and bats, and they're just eating this shit like Thanksgiving. And as Banana Peel is building that momentum, we see, as I was saying before, Neri, or should I say Braun Breaker, turned the tide of this battle, and he charged ahead full speed and almost blasted this guy in half with his spear. And before he could do any more damage, he got his wig snatched instantly, and we got a sneak peek of the next World Cup with the type of kick this guy threw at his cranium. And before Neri gets his head bashed in, we see the second years pull up, led by Gojo's little brother. What's the hullabaloo about? 3 scary second years pulled up, boo-hoo. I just pissed myself, I'm so scared. I mean, come on, guys. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if y'all are up to speed on what's going on and why this little warehouse warfare is taking place, but ain't y'all supposed to be protecting the town and stuff like that? My crew and I simply had business with one of your boys who was preventing my guy from reaching his quota, getting in his head, infecting him like a little parasite. Which, I mean, not that I care much, but I mean, I would suggest y'all check up on him and see if he even has a pulse anymore. Because I would hate to have to throw one of my guys under the bus and have them catch this murder charge and go away for a long time. I would not want to do that, because I care about my team. But that aside, you both bitches don't really have anything to do with this. And now you're making it a whole big ordeal, and it's going to get a lot messier than it has to be. And it's like, nah, you must be dumb. Why do you think all of you wear the same Nike tech? You see the jacket I have on, dickhead? I'm clearly a part of this. Bofuden's priority is protecting the town. Every single nook and cranny of it, actually. So when we have a termite infestation, we got to handle that shit accordingly. So we came straight to the source, and it looks like we have a skunk problem too, cause goddamn it fucking smells in this bitch. Are y'all just shitting on the floor in this place or what? I don't see one restroom in sight, or do we have diapers on? Is that the case too? I mean, fuck, this is a lame ass spot. Just off assessing this alone, I could already tell none of y'all get play. Not a single one of y'all in this spot get play, and that is 100% certainty. I will put money line on that any day of the fucking week. Y'all are probably still under the impression that women don't shit. Well, newsflash, they do. And if you get the right girl, you love the smell of her shit, but I'm not going to get into the politics of that right now. I got business to handle. Pardon? What is your freaky ass talking about? I don't get it. That's what I just said. I know you don't get play. You don't have to repeat what I just said. Listen, man, you took something that belongs to Fuden. Simple as that. And I got 3 words for you. Both of them beating down Keel, must see TV. What? You said 3 words and you gave me 3 paragraphs, bruh. I knew y'all were bad at math. I mean, shit, but I know it was just bad. I tried my very best to warn you. I put my heart in this. I really did. Hey boys, go get them. We almost have this shit won anyway. They deadass brought 3 more dudes. That's just 6 more balls to bust. I mean, y'all can handle that, right? balls to bust? What's he talking about? And I mean, they're a whole year older than us. Turn on him. Can we even handle that for real? I did not sign up for ball busting. I promise you that much, y'all. And yeah, no, so Lollipop, he's somewhat of an ore merchant himself because he pulls up on Sakura and Edward and stops their class just by standing there and starts giving Sakura a little reality check. And Edward tried sneaking one of them. I think it was Sakura he was going for. And Keel would turn on his Godspeed for a second just to give this nigga a glimpse into what he would be receiving, throwing that high kick like Mikey, and had that man petrified. And obviously Sakura's stuck in his ways, but Keel was giving him some life lessons a little bit, saying that he was going to go beat the guy's ass himself and then get in a few punches for him. So there was compromise here. And Sakura socks himself in the face because he realizes he's been off his game a little bit. And I liked that this second year was taking kind of the main character role, I guess, for this fight and beating the main dude rather than it being Sakura, just to kind of introduce more characters into the mix, as well as to further push Sakura's individual story that I feel like we see a lot in the next couple episodes. But no, so he locks in and almost busts Edward's pipe in half. And Edward gets scared and sends a jump in after him, but he hits a reverse one on him. Now we start seeing everyone turning up. We see Cheeto Puff get into his little Dempsey roll stance, getting ready to let this shit fly. And as soon as I saw him assume this position, I already knew Kirishima was gonna have 2 indentations on his cranium. And everyone was fighting for real, but like, obviously there was a momentum shift, and this went from like a fight to them trying to like kill each other. Like this got pretty violent because he punches right through Kirishima's wooden board and gives him that first indentation. But putting a pause on their scuffle, this is why I was saying this shit's getting a lot more violent than I feel like it has to be. Going back to Baji and the barbed wire bandit, he catches him by both of his ankles as he's coming in for a missile of a drop kick and hoists all 87 pounds of him up into the sky airborne and slams his ass on the pavement like those ropes you exercise with at the gym. I have never seen such a lethal move, especially in a show that like doesn't have any supernatural abilities. I guess the Windbreakers count as one, but like other than that, I've never seen a nigga get hoisted up and spread like a beach towel on the cement. I've never seen some shit like this. Like, this is definitely a move that Gorilla would be hitting against those 100 men. His cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, and coccyx all should be turned to dust after that move. This was attempted murder. I now see why they drafted this kid, because I'm no scientist, so I'm just hypothesizing right now, but any normal human gets done like this. Like, I'm just putting myself in this kid's shoes right now. I get done like this, whether it be by my hands or my guardian's hands, Baji will be seeing my lawyer. That's, I mean, we will be putting him away. There's no way he's walking out of this a free man. That's number one. But I feel like there's no way I'm walking out of this in general, because there'll be something wrong with my skeletal system. I don't know what exactly, because I think it would just depend on the angle, but I would be heavily injured. I feel like any normal person would be heavily injured. So to see that this kid doesn't even have the wind knocked out of him, or dare I say his wind braked, his wind broken, his Windbreaker. I guess Banana Peel got lucky and they drafted themselves a super soldier. And we go back to Cheeto Puff and Kirishima, and they're banging the fuck out. And he's shit talking while he's pushing him too. And in the flip flops, this man assumes a 180-degree angle, airborne on cement. He's putting his body on the line for this and hitting this drop kick of mass destruction and sends this man flying 10 to 15 feet. But the thing that alarmed me again about this child that just got slammed on the pavement by this fucking ape is that he gets up unfazed, and the one thing he's concerned about are his ankles. So I don't know if I am more alarmed that Baji was able to grip his feet with so much force, or if I'm more concerned about the fact that this kid tanked a life-ending move. I just don't know. There's so much going on right now, I'm kind of overwhelmed. But he ends up taking a destructive right hand that sends him to the Shadow Realm. So we've got him handled for now. And we go back to Psyche case fight, and this man's tweaking out because Psyche was saying he gets no play. Did I break your little fragile arm, missus? Yeah, and this is just further back in my claim that you get no play. You don't have to hide it from me anymore. Because if I was a girl, I'd want to protect her. I want someone that could keep me safe if we're walking in an alleyway at night. Not someone whose punch feels like a squishmallow. That's for sure. I would not want to be dating someone like that. So I already know what I say is true about your love life. What are you gripping that wood so hard for? It seems like I hit a sore spot. My fault. Die! And I mean, speaking of gripping wood, the way you're following this guy's orders, it seems like this is a regular day-to-day thing for you, gripping on wood. Because as your left hand has a nice hold on that piece of plywood, your right hand clearly has a good submission hold on his wood too. So you're dual-wielding this shit akimbo. That's honestly impressive. I'm sure they'd love you at a Home Depot in the lumber department. And yeah, no, so this guy was such a buffoon that he made our boy Psyche pull that Windbreaker up and lock in for a second. And he was weaving him up, down, left, right, and center. And then all he had to do was like do that little I don't know if it's like he cuts off blood supply on his vein or something when he like smacks his neck. I don't know how it works to make him pass out briefly, but he hits him with that Bruce Lee like ability. You know, and as everyone kind of won their battle, I think we go back to Suo and the animation started getting smooth and we see him strutting up to us, and it was like his ass got taken over and his curse mark got activated or something, because he knocked his ass out cold and he was about to put his fist through his skull, and thank goodness Sakura stopped him, because he would have been on the run from the police after this. That's if there are any. But no, I will say a lot of the scenes during this scuffle, there was a lot of good animation like sprinkled in. I'm still surprised at how good the shit gets with Windbreaker from time to time. And then the final scuffle of this was Killua versus the leader of this whole operation, who was trying to make Killua, I guess, enraged and step out of his shell. And he was saying some nefarious shit like, "You're a good puppy, and I bet you have been ever since they cut off your balls." And then he's waiting for the beast to come out and play and put it on a leash. So this is sounding like that Blue Lock shit talk, where everything starts to sound a little bit questionable. And no, so this phony starts attacking him with the metal bat. But this is the shit I'm saying. Where do these niggas learn how to fight?
It either has to be the Jade Palace from Kung Fu Panda or Bobby Wasabi's with the type of moves that some of these guys are hitting.
Because not only is he weaving the dude, trying to clobber his ass with the bat, he's backflipping onto a metal railing. They're doing a whole Olympic gymnast bar routine. So then jumping on this crane doing some Uncharted 4 shit. And this guy is somehow still keeping up with him after getting thrashed into the fucking wall. And again, I don't know what type of armor sets these dudes have on, because he hit him about 7 times all over his body with this fucking bat. And he is still hitting these fucking flips and tricks. And this banana peel guy was just freaked out. I don't know what his deal was. I don't know what his purpose was. I don't know what his objective was.
Because he was talking about reaching quota, but with how he was talking about Killua's beast and all that shit, he seemed a lot more interested about reaching orgasm. With the way he was talking and tongue out the mouth, saliva staining the floor, like that's the type of vibe I was getting from him. And thankfully Killua shuts down this whole freak operation quick and proceeds to give him a 6-piece nugget to each sector of his body.
That was just a beautiful display of hands. I don't think it gets any better than that. I just wanted to interject to say that I may or may not have a sponsor on this video. I know, big stuff, all day plus. When it comes to sponsors and stuff like that, I don't really want to, if I do have the opportunity to do something with a company, I don't really want to just jump into something that I don't even have knowledge about, or a product that I'm not going to use. So when Raycon reached out to me and they were talking about earbuds, their everyday earbuds, I figured this would be a good little collaboration, because I'm an avid earbud user and I like to work out and do stuff like that. So, but no, so you see, I had to get the lavender. I had to get the lavender joints, and they have a plethora of colors. Big word. And I know with the actual cases, especially, they have a bunch of different designs you could choose from. And when it comes to the actual earbuds themselves, they do have active noise cancellation. I mean, we're in 2025, so if you don't have that, I mean, what are you doing? You know, so they do have that, of course. And they also have a great quick charging function where if you charge for, let's say, 10 minutes, that'll give you 90 minutes of battery life, you know, so it's a good little ratio going on right there. But the reason they reached out was because they're having a Mother's Day sale at the moment where you get 20% off if you use my code, which I am going to put the link in the description too, but it is www.buyraycon.com/Dottie.
For a low 15% off on this Mother's Day sale.
And obviously, if you don't want to get something for your mother, you could splurge and get something for yourself too. It just do whatever your heart desires, truthfully. But I just want to say, appreciate Raycon for sending me these, and let's get back to it. But no, so after that, they eventually get Nagato back on their side, even though he wasn't really off their side in general. He just kind of got roped into it. And now they had like a lot of lovey-dovey, mushy-gushy stuff going on that was like kind of reminiscent of season 1, where it was like kind of like you're sitting there, it's kind of corny, and you're like, like just a couple minutes we were trying to make examples out of dudes, trying to slam them through the concrete, stuff like that, and then 5 minutes later Nagato's like, "Oh, but you wouldn't be my friend." Like, such a drastic shift, you know. It could definitely feel a bit unserious. But I will say that these next 3 episodes, in terms of how they focused on Sakura's character, while it did seem corny at first, was some of the deepest meaningful story that we've gotten in the show, similar to how in season 1 with, I forgot their name, I want to say his name was Choji, how he was like going through his depression. I feel like this had a similar serious tone to that, having those real world lessons be taught, because these niggas started spitting poetry for Sakura's little arc here, because as they're walking home, he's kind of assuming full responsibility, and he's basically concerned for the first time that he got like people involved that he cares about, and they're saying that all they feel is really gratitude towards him. all kind of being just good brothers to him and stuff like that. But he doesn't know how to take that to where in turn the nigga caught a cold off of it. And before I get into that, we go back to Banana Peel HQ and we see everyone's bodies scattered all over the pavement. So again, this comes back to that, like, do they have parents? Do they live here? Type of question. There's just a lot going through my head as I'm seeing this, but we see one of their members who wakes up yawning almost as if he was sleeping the whole time. And I guess he was sort of the shadow leader of Keel. Sort of like Buggy with the Cross Guild in One Piece, how he's kind of like the face, but then there are others like actually leading the operation behind him. And we see him walking out in his very nice leather dress shoes that he probably got from DSW. And he takes that Peel Windbreaker off. And we see that he's tatted up and his name is Frank. Scary stuff here. But no, so I don't know if I'm supposed to know whose tattoo this is and if they've showed this tattoo before or something like that, because there's a lot of emphasis on it, unless this is just like the emblem for another gang. But we see him all blacked out, and I just have a feeling that these new guys are going to get a little violent. I don't know. So we'll see how he gets involved a little bit later. But going back to the Sakura thing, we see Suo and Nire go to his house as he's sick and drop off some goods and stuff like that. And then Nire was outside asking, like, why don't they go and help him? And Suo was saying since Sakura's always been alone, that's kind of what he's used to, and that them kind of being on top of him with everything may in turn lead him to being more stressed and more sick and stuff like that. So they eventually skedaddle, but his ride or die comes up, plays cooking him dinner, taking care of him and stuff like that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this better be his wife. So he better not fold with her. But aside from all the violence, one of my favorite parts, probably my favorite part from the 5 episodes that are out, was the end of 17 coming into 18, because we see Killua get asked by Sakura to talk to him outside. And Sakura is basically asking him how to rely on his vice captains, aka his friends. And then Killua started getting philosophical, like getting the coffee bottle, labeling it green tea, and then saying that, like, even though it says green tea on the outside, the contents on the inside are going to continue to be coffee and continue to be the same. And basically coming down to the point that he's scared of being rejected by others, even though Sakura thought he kind of left that mindset. But now that he's kind of getting involved with a new group of people, that same fear is coming back up again. And it was just a beautiful scene. It was a really good scene altogether, and it kind of, I felt like, took that corniness away from the show. And at least for me, I felt like it was very like humanizing and I could relate to it a little bit. And then seeing Gojo eavesdropping and then catching a lethal right hook from Kaji that had his face looking like a puckered booty hole. I think my favorite thing he said, even though as simple as it was rely on being relied on and forgive being forgiven. I don't know why, nigga, that shit cut me deep. I was like, damn, that's tough. That's like, it's just like, yeah, because I feel like, at least for me personally, due to circumstances, not gonna get too deep into it, I feel like due to circumstances and how some things have been presented to me over the last year or two, it's like I kind of haven't been in that headspace. You know, the rely on being relied on and the forgive being forgiven and stuff like that, having it go both ways. It's just like, it was a very deep and meaningful scene that I feel like I really appreciated, and that I didn't think that this show would be able to provide for me. In the representation of him walking on the tightrope and how terrified he was of taking that leap of faith, what's up danger, and how nerve-wracking it was for him to walk into that classroom and for him to like build up all that courage to just say sorry and kind of leap off that tightrope. But when he is saying sorry, people like Bonsai almost taking offense to it, because there's nothing wrong with being concerned about your peers. And he was saying that, like, that's why, like, we accept you, we really like you, so like stop being like that. And then we see in that little visual again that the tightrope that he was so hung up on and how scary it was to leap off, that the shit was only like 2 feet off the ground, and that the whole time he was just in a meadow of flowers with these dudes, and that in this case the grass was indeed greener on the other side. It was just like the building of like brotherhood type. I don't know, I really enjoyed that. Hey y'all, so since Sakura fessed up about all the lame parts about himself, they were pretty lame, I'm gonna be honest, but like, why don't we all confess something about ourselves, just to show how lame we are? I mean, sure, you go first, Takanashi. Yeah, what he said. Alright, man. Real talk, when it comes to bugs, I can't stand those motherfuckers. Especially those red-winged cockroaches. Don't let me flip this fucking table right now, I'm about to tweet. Someone go next, please. Alright, I'll go next. I'm deathly afraid of ghosts, bro. And when it comes to like shit like washing my hair, I don't even close my eyes. Doc said if I keep doing that, I'll be blind by 32. I don't give a fuck. Oh damn, but if I'm blind, I won't be able to see the ghost then. There's no escaping this. I mean, I don't know. You're scared too, right, Sakura? You gotta be. I mean, no matter how much pre-workout I take, no matter how many days in the gym, I can't defeat ghosts. How am I supposed to defeat them when I can't touch them? All right, brother, chill. What are you stripping down for? I'm glad you understand. Everyone's the same. Everyone has weaknesses. Everyone has a pathetic side. Some more pathetic than others, like the bugs and ghosts thing. I mean, what are we, 10? You know, like but I mean, that's nothing to fear or be embarrassed about. All right, if that's the case, Suo-chan, what's your weakness? Me? My weakness, I'd say I'm not good at not making money. You know, I'd say I'm a real money maker, and it's hard for me to stop. Like, the dough just keeps rolling in consistently, and that's honestly as embarrassing as it is. Like, that's just my biggest confession. Like, when I saw that video of Ashton Hall saying we need to make at least 20,000, I had 40,000 already coming in, and it's a flaw of mine. I really gotta stop. Suo, stop capping. You barely have $10 to your name. What are you talking about? Be serious. Making too much money. I mean, I could see that. He bought me a lot of goodies from the store. I think that's a weird confession, though. See, even Sakura-chan believed you. You have 4 maxed out credit cards. I mean, what are you doing? I thought we were getting a hold on this money situation. I know. I was just joking. Ayo, Suo, not trying to out you, big dog, but don't you hate Nato? Oh, no. Nide. Who fed you that malarkey? No, so after their little confession conversation, they try bombarding Suo, and we see that Sakura lets out a chuckle, which is the first time we see him laugh and smile outside of throwing hands for the first time in the series, which again is like just good character development for him that I really appreciated. And the last part of this episode, everyone's on the rooftop, and then we saw this character a bit earlier, and I'm not going to say I don't know why I thought he was a girl, because I mean, we could see what's going on here, and I forgot this was an all-boys school, but we're introduced to this new character who's standing at about Joel Embiid height, to where I thought he was a sibling of Gojo, because they have like a very similar facial structure and the same eyes, so I thought they were related, but he's just kind of mingling and kind of flirting with Sakura. It's looking like, because after he introduces us to the Dober twins, they head out after he makes Sakura a bit disheveled, and then to end off the episode, ask him out on a date. So I don't know exactly what direction we're going now. I thought we were getting involved with the new gang, but yeah, no, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not gonna lie. As I said, that little Sakura character development was very good, and I really enjoyed that. And I honestly enjoyed the first 5 episodes of this season a lot more than I thought I would, because again, it's like season 1 was good in terms of the violence. I really loved it for that, but didn't really like it for anything else until that later half of it. But no, I've been enjoying season 2, and it's just a good show to not really turn your brain off to, but to kind of just like sit back and not have to pay too much attention to all these little minute details, and just kind of enjoy the characters, enjoy the development of their bonds and stuff like that. So I really liked it. So Windbreaker season 2, it's been solid so far. I think I'm gonna do a Devil May Cry video next, and then another lounge video on a specific character. I'm sure people know who he is, but I'll get to that when I get to it. And we're nearing 100K, like 1.5 away. So I mean, if we could do it with this video, hey, that would be fantastical, but I don't know if that will happen. But now, so sub to this channel. I'm playing through God of War on the 2nd channel. For those who want to go see it, I appreciate y'all for checking out over there too. Without further ado, on to the next one, and yeah, that's it.
Fuck that vision you had, I'm in the lab. My life really been bad. Now gave me bad, pen and pad, scribble scrabbling. They never passing them, ain't really with the jibber jabbering. Y'all really adamant, so if I take the mic and battle them, I might just tackle them and kill a rapper. Now they mad at Bennett, was an accident, shit.